Hey y'all, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at a chess game that I played recently where what ended up happening is that I was almost completely lost, but I was able to get it out of my opponent's very strong attack. Let's just get into it. My opponent starts the game with e4, and I decided to play the Caro-Kann this time, which is an opening that I haven't played for a while online, but you know, it's a fun opening. c6, d4, d5, knight c3. This is all theory. We can skip past it. D takes e4, knight takes e4, knight f6, takes. And my opponent goes c3, bishop d6, bishop d3, castles, and queen c2. And now I pretty much have to think on my own. There's a couple of moves here for black. First of all, he's attacking this pawn, of course. That's the idea of queen c2. And I have to find a way to kind of circumvent that. I think one of the lines, I haven't looked at in a while, but I think one of the lines is h5. Yeah, one of the lines is definitely h5. I thought g6 would be interesting during the game, with the idea to play rook e8 and try to bring the bishop back to g7, which is kind of an interesting idea as well. But I just kind of settle on the most natural looking move, in my opinion. I simply play the move h6, which made the most sense to me. My opponent goes bishop e3, and I decide to start attacking. I realize, okay, in these positions, what white usually tries to do is tries to get a huge attack on the king side, castle long, and try to win the game basically. And in a lot of positions, the only real way that black has to be able to circumvent this is to start their own attack. So I make it a little bit tougher for him to castle. I go b5, which is a bit of an inaccuracy. The idea is simply that if he castles long, then I play a5, and there's already kind of an attack brewing over here, so he has to be a little bit careful. Also, if he ever castles short side after the move knight e2, and I go with the move rook to e8, if he ever castles short side, basically he's just kind of arguing that his attack is done. Well, he's kind of saying that his attack is done. He's conceding to me that there's not really going to be much going on my side of the board, on the king side, but it's a completely reasonable move. It just turns the game into more of a positional game instead of an attacking game. But after looking at, my opponent does go with the move long castles. And we already see here that black is getting a little bit of an initiative, where I can immediately exploit him if I play a couple of moves. If I play moves such as bishop e6, which makes a lot of sense, trying to target this pawn in some lines. I'm going to go queen a5 in the future if I'm able to take this. Let's say if h3. I don't think I'm able to take this pawn right away. I'm pretty sure my bishop just gets trapped. No, it does not. No, he has to go king d2, and it does get trapped this way. Okay, very interesting. But instead of doing that, of course, there's another line with the move queen a5, which makes a lot of sense as well, simply targeting the pawn on a2. And after the move a3, I'm going to argue that, okay, now this is a hook. I'm going to be able to just simply probably develop my bishop, and I'm just going to be saying, okay, you know what, your position is a little bit worse. But what I do is I kind of get a little bit of tunnel vision here, and I'm already thinking my position is a little bit worse for wear. So I play the move a5, which is wrong. This is not correct, but it's scary, which is the point. If my opponent here like freaks out a little bit, then I'm going to be able to get some stuff going on the queen side, and maybe I'll be able to attack him down the line. And to me, it seemed like my opponent would be a little bit worse here in many variations. My opponent here goes with the move h4. Again, very interesting. Simply getting the pawn going, and he's saying that, okay, his attack is going to be faster. He's going to play g4, g5. Maybe he's going to even like sack the bishop. He's going to get the queen in here, and he's going to checkmate me or something. Or he's just going to win all four of these pawns, and I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. And that means I have to strike now. I played the move b4, which is also a very cool move. It's a nice little, it's almost a sacrifice even. But it's not. The reason why it's almost a sacrifice is because, like, after it takes, you can argue that after like something like a takes b4, this pawn is like a little bit weak, and the knight has to defend it, so my knight is never really going to get developed. But not really. My knight is going to be able to be developed in the future. Either way, my opponent can't really take it. That's kind of the point, because it opens up too much. He gets attacked over here. He might get attacked over here. Maybe I can probably bring this rook over to the c file. And white is going to be in a huge amount of trouble. He goes with the move c4, which makes the most sense, and I have to strike now. If I don't strike now, I'm going to lose, and disaster kind of strikes. Disaster strikes. This is when the game really happens. I'm starting to panic now. I should have played the move a4, which makes a lot of sense. I should have played the move a4 in 2 seconds. But the reason why I didn't is a little bit silly. My idea was, okay, he goes c5, he hits my bishop. I probably have to go like bishop f8, I thought. And even if I'm able to get the move b3 off, let's say the rook wasn't hanging in that line. Okay, maybe I don't know. Let's play g3. Even if I was able to get the move bishop b3 off, I didn't think that there was anything here. I thought, okay, takes. Aren't I just losing a pawn? Like, this is nothing, right? Like, he's just escaping. But here, after queen b3, I should just be happy with this. I should just be like, okay, you know what? I have literally all of my pieces on the back rank, but black is better. And that's a little bit hard to see. I didn't see that. I wish that there was a better example, like, than g3. Like, maybe there's... I don't even know. What's the best move here? Let's say knight f4. Let's put the same position on the board. Queen takes b3. Like, this position, black is doing fine. This is a little more accurate to what would actually happen during the game. Black is doing fine, but they have 7 pieces on the back rank. They don't have any pieces developed. I have nothing. I just didn't feel like this could be a thing that is possible ever. Why? How is this good for me? How is this good for me? I don't get it. But I didn't play b3. b4. I'm sorry, c4. I didn't play a4. Instead, I just played a pretty normal move. Which didn't make the most sense either. Play the move queen to c7. And my idea, it wasn't much of an idea really. My idea was just that, okay, now my bishop and queen are the same line. Now he can't play knight f4. But this was just such a stupid decision. I made it really quickly. I spent like 10 seconds on this move, which this position I should have spent a little bit more time, or I could have just played a4 like immediately. Like either way, queen c7 just doesn't make that much sense because it just walks directly into the move c5, and after bishop f8, I thought black is probably just losing here. And I'm right, black is just much worse. We have the bishops pointing down. The bishop's pointing down towards my king. It feels like there's going to be sacrifices at some point. The knight's going to come in. Maybe the rook is going to come in with maybe like g4, g5 in some lines. One interesting move is the move g4. And I can't really take this pawn because then something like rook dg1. And as you can see, this doesn't look that appetizing to me. This just doesn't look like anything. I mean, even like f5, like this move, for example, might be able to work. Yeah, it works here. Like it's really rough, really tactical. The reason why that works, by the way, it's a mistake for some reason. But like if I take, he takes here, and there's like immense pressure. This move is coming. If I play h5, we just place f3. No, not f3. No, we just take on g4. Take, and like I'm getting mated here. But yeah, this is just not good. This is really not good, and it's already terrifying to me. But my opponent, he just goes normal. He doesn't go for the move g4, which made sense to me. He goes with the move knight to f4. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Knight to f4. A very reasonable move. It's a very reasonable move, knight to f4. He's just saying, okay, you know what? I think that all the pieces are in here. He's going to have some attacking chances. We got the knight pointing down, the bishop pointing down, the bishop pointing down, the queen pointing down. These pawns are going to start moving. I mean, you know how many arrows I'm drawing? Like, everything is going to attack the king. Everything is going to attack the king. There is no hope. And at this point, I was already, in all honesty, I was already thinking that I was going to lose this game. I thought, you know what? I just have no play. Black is so much worse here. I'm cramped. I have three pieces doing nothing. You could even probably argue there are 4 pieces doing nothing. my position is just really, really bad. I'm very, very cramped, and nothing is really working out here. My opponent, but I keep going. But I keep going. I play the only really move that I can play, and I go with the move a4. And my opponent goes wrong. My opponent had to move the queen. Had to move the queen. He cannot allow b3 to come with tempo. What do you have to do here? He has a couple moves. Literally any queen move, by the way. Like, everything is working. Queen c4 is the best because it's targeting here. Maybe he's going to get the knight into this square. He has pressure on the pawn. It's a little bit tricky. The problem is, if my opponent does anything else, like g3 for example, I thought that the move b3 is very, very strong. I keep doing this stupid idea of g3, and let's play some more active. g4 makes more sense. Yeah, here we go. Now b3 is what we like to see. Now we got the actual evaluation that I wanted to show. b3 and at this position is really bad for white. This is not good stuff. Not good stuff at all. Because my rook is getting in, my knight is able to cop up pretty quickly. Even if this wasn't a free pawn, which, I mean, oh my god, I can't find a good example, but I really want a better example. What can be a better example? Rook here, maybe. Yeah, this is a better example. This is a much better example. Yeah, here we go. This is good stuff. Now knight a6, and we're able to get the knight up. The rook is going to come up next. There's going to be like bishop e6 in the future. Maybe my rook is going to come over here. And as you can see, the attack is kind of getting turned on its head. And my opponent is the one who is going to be losing this game. My opponent here blunders. Just a quick little mistake. My opponent here thought that he was being very, very tricky, and he played the move d5, which is a nice move, I have to admit. Very nice move. And what I should have responded with, and what I didn't respond with, is the move b3, which would have been very nice. But the reason why I didn't respond with this, to me, made a lot of sense. I thought, okay, my opponent's going to go like queen c4. I'm going to take on a2. My opponent can take back with the queen, but I don't know, even king c2 or something. And I thought, at the end of the day, what's really going on here, I thought what's really going on is that my queen is going to be locked out forever. And if I took, I thought, okay, why am I letting the knight in with tempo? It feels like, yeah, his king is kind of airy, but I didn't believe this, which is just a bad evaluation. Just a big misevaluation of the position. This is actually completely winning for black, which is a little bit funny. I completely didn't realize that. A complete misevaluation of the position, but I mean, it happens to the best of us, happens to the worst of us, happens to all of us. d5 would have been, b3 here would have been a very nice move, but instead of that, I go with the move c takes d5 pretty quickly, and after the move knight takes d5, I go with another mistake. Rule of two mistakes: if you make a mistake once, you make another mistake. I go queen a5. Also wrong, but of course my idea was that after queen b7, okay, I'm not really attacking the knight, because if I take the knight, then there's going to be this check opening up the rook to take my queen, so I can't do that. And after queen b7, I thought, I don't like this position. I don't like what's going on here. I thought that he had like some good play. Like, I don't even know. Like, I thought maybe I can't really develop my knight anywhere because I thought that this move was coming. I thought maybe even like knight b6, for example. Even like knight b6, just going after one of my pieces. Even just grabbing the bishop pair. Like, I can play rook a7, takes. Like, even this position. And I mean, already the evaluation is already in white's favor, and I'm not enjoying myself here. Like, my opponent feels like they have the play. Again, another misevaluation of the position. I have to work on that, but you know, you can't win them all. So I go queen a5, defending my pawn, and seemed like the best move to me. My opponent goes bishop takes h6, which is insane. Which is just a crazy move. But I'm winning here. The reason why this move works, and the reason why my opponent thought it works, is because, of course, if I take, I'm gonna lose the game. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. It's already checkmate on the board here. Even here, you can just go bishop c4 and threatening mate, and it's just game over. I already have to sacrifice all my pieces like this, so that's not what we like to see. But I'm just gonna lose the game if I do that. So I can't take it. So why is it so good for me? Well, it's because I don't have to do anything. In fact, the move b3 here would win the game. A lot of things would win the game. If I just don't take, I win the game. And I don't take. I go knight c6, which wins the game. Here, the best way to do is bishop e6, attacking the knight. The bishop is still hanging. After the knight moves away, I'm just gonna win the bishop, and there's no more fork. And like, for example, probably the best move here is to take, and get into this position where, of course, black was up a piece. Although my king is really airy, and it's a little bit scary to defend this. Instead of that, knight c6 is just another reasonable move. I'm just, okay, I'm coming here. I don't understand what the point of this is, and my opponent is losing the game positionally. He can bring the bishop back, and he does, and defends this, but now it's just game over, and I get off all of my pieces. I get bishop e6. My pieces that were stuck on the back rank for the first month of the game are now developed and are ready to play. My bishop is targeting here. I'm attacking the knight. I'm actually attacking the knight because after bishop h7, king h8, and rook here, I'm thinking that I'm probably winning because of moves like b3, and my pawns are kind of sneaking through. So my opponent here goes h5, which is a little bit interesting, thinking that he might be able to checkmate me in some lines. I go bishop takes d5, bishop h7, king h8, this all happens, and I play the move b3, and life is good, and black is winning the game. My opponent is forced to move the queen somewhere they don't want to move it to. They go, first of all, takes, and then they go with the move queen to b1, which is the only place that the queen can defend the bishop, and also defend this attack with the queen coming in over here, picking up the rook. But there's just nothing to be done. The queen is so stuck out of the game right now that he's just losing. It looks like he's able to have some attack. It does, but there's nothing here. I go knight b4, hit the rook. I'm coming into one of these squares. This pawn is under attack. My rooks might be able to come in. Maybe this rook stays here. Maybe this rook comes over here. My pieces are active. His king is the weak one. My opponent goes h6, which is a crazy move, and I think I can't take. Okay, I can take, but it's a little bit scary. Like bishop takes h6. Oh, I don't know about this one. I'm winning here due to rook e1 check, which I missed. But to me, I just thought that this is very, very terrifying. I didn't want to get into this. But I don't take. I play the best move instead, which I'm very happy about. I play the move g6, and I realize here that although my opponent can sack the bishop, f takes g6, and bring the queen in, queen takes g6, there is no checkmate. Checkmate is guarded by one move, and although my king is so incredibly airy here, with the pawn on f6 looking like it's about to be eaten, I can just do whatever I want. I can take the rook and defend the pawn. And then black would be winning the game. So my opponent kind of freaks out here. Bishop takes, f takes. My opponent doesn't play queen takes. Instead goes with the move rook d7, which makes sense, trying to like cut this off, trying to get the queen here to take on h7. I say, no, you can't do that. And I shove my knight right in his face with the move knight to c2, which is just an incredible move. And this is the move that that made me want to make this video. Knight to c2 is such a fun move because you're not really going to get an outpost like this in any normal chess game. The knight is so far in to the white position that it's just funny. It's just funny. My opponent goes bishop d2, but there's nothing to be done. I simply go with the move queen takes c5. Now I'm threatening rook a1, which would win the queen. The queen is already out of play anyway, so probably you have to sack it, but It doesn't even matter because I'm also threatening a checkmate, which is going to be rough. My opponent goes bishop c3, blocking my queen from attacking, and also targeting this pawn here. I can't go with the move rook a1 because I get mated, which is very scary with an h7 checkmate. When moves like this happen, that you got to be really, really careful. But of course, I know what I'm doing, and I play the move rook to e5, just coming in the way, not allowing my opponent's bishop to come in here. The queen is already basically lost at this point. My opponent takes it, f takes e5, and now he runs his king, king d2, but it is just a checkmate. Queen f2, and we go on a little king hunt, but there's nothing for my opponent to do. My opponent has 13 seconds versus 1:11 on the clock, and after the simple move queen to c6, my opponent resigns with mate in 1 on the board. Something also cool is that I found the whole 4 sequence here. I found the mate in 6, which is a little bit funny. That's not normally something that happens, but anyway, queen c6, and it's game over. And I won this game from a position where it looked like I was just losing. This position, this position, more or less, is just awful for black. It just looks visually just like a nightmare. Yes, black has some attacking play, but white has all the pieces developed, has all 4 pieces developed, has a huge attack on the king, has the queen in a really good position. The only piece that's not playing for white is probably this rook, but it can get involved like this. Black has 6 out of their 7 pieces on the back rank with no hope of developing 3 of them. And it's just, whew. But this game was just amazing, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys found this entertaining, instructive, all of the above. If you did, remember to subscribe, do all the things YouTubers tell you to do. And, yeah, that's it. Good evening and good night.